Hi, very welcome. And before starting this course, to save your time, let me tell you, is this course for you or not? Okay, this course is perfect for you if you are just a beginner to learn Adobe Illustrator, or if you are confused whether you should learn Adobe Illustrator or not. Maybe you want to learn some other softwares, but you also have a wish to learn Adobe Illustrator, so you cannot decide, then this course is also for you. And if you just want to try and learn something new, sometimes you are too busy but you want to learn something new, so you can try this software to learn something about graphic design, and you can do your basic things. And if you're afraid to learn seeing a lot of tools on Adobe Illustrator, sometimes it happens we really learn some softwares, but when you open that software you can see a lot of tools and just you become so afraid to learn about that, so you lose your confidence. Okay, and here in this course we are going to discuss about basic color harmony and basic shapes, how to use these basic shapes to create something such as flyer, card, and we'll also try pen tool and curvature tool to design some logo. And I will give you some tips and tricks and also tips to learn more about Adobe Illustrator. I am Uttam Kumar. I love creating courses. I have 12 courses in the last 2 years, and this time I am going to make courses here for free. And here I am using the latest version of the Adobe Illustrator, Adobe Illustrator 2023. But if you are using an older version of Adobe Illustrator, that's totally fine. You can follow this course without any problems. And make sure that when you are watching this course, you are taking care of your health. If you are opening Adobe Illustrator for the first time, then you will see this page. Then just click New File, or you can just go to File, then click New. This is very easy. And whatever the setting here, just make sure that it's pixel, or you can just choose the orientation. We'll learn more about this later. And you can set it of 72 or 300, doesn't matter this time. Okay, then click Create. And this is your working area, your workspace. In this white area, we will do our design. And first we'll just go to Window, and here Workspace, and then here Reset Essentials Classic. Then we will reset our workspace, and we can go to Window again, and then go to Workspace, and then make sure that it's Essentials Classic, so that you can follow the tutorials with me. There will be no problem. So first thing we'll try to understand, that is how to write something, because in any design we write something. It can be a flyer, or it can be any advertising brochure. So here I select this one, T. This is type tool, T for type tool. And then if I click here, now I can type something. Okay, this time I can type something here, and you can see the text here. Now it's small, and whenever you are fine with this text, then this tool, make sure that this one is clicked, because when you click this one, this is called selection tool. So now we got this selection tool and it is selected. This time if I click again here, or I can just select again, selection is very easy. Just hold your left click, and then if you move your mouse, then you can see this box. So inside this box everything will be selected. So now we want to select this. Okay, we just hold our left click and move our mouse. Now this box is created. Okay, left, just leave your left click and it is selected. And if you want to scale it, that's very easy. You can go to this properties panel, and if you do not see this properties panel, just go to Window and make sure this properties panel is checked. Here if it is checked, then you will see this properties panel. If you don't see this, like this one, now properties panel is not here, then you can go to window, and again we need to find these properties and click here. Now if I go to window again, it is checked, and you can see properties panel here. You can always just collapse it by clicking this double arrow here, and if you click it again, it will be expanded. Very easy to use. And here this time if you just click outside, it will not be selected, and if you want to select it, just click here also. It is also the same as just selecting like this box. I click it again to select, and here I can change the font and I can increase the size of this font. So this is for the font size. I can just click here and select 72. Now this text is more visible. Okay, now we can edit it very easily. Just click here, then double click. Now we can edit it very easily. If we double click here, now everything is selected, and we can just press backspace or delete from the keyboard, and we can type something. So here we can write thank you. Okay, fine. And then again, just go to the selection tool. I click it again to select. You can also scale it very easily. Just if you go to this box, near this box, you can see this arrow. Then you have to hold the left click, then just move your mouse. Now you can see that I can make it bigger or smaller very easily, but the ratio of the scaling is not the same. Okay, so how to make it better way? Okay, first we can just select this one. Then here you can see this arrow, and if I want to keep the same ratio when scaling, then just hold the left click here and then press shift from your keyboard, and this time if you scale it, then the ratio will be the same. Very easy, right? And this time if you want to undo, if you make any mistakes, if you want to undo, then press Ctrl Z on Windows, and if you are using Mac, then Command Z. Okay, remember it, I'm using Windows, so I always say Control, but if you're using Mac, then it will be always Command or CMD on your keyboard. Okay, so this time Control Z. Okay, we go back to the old design. Then again we want to scale it, but we want to keep the same ratio. Okay, go near it, hold the left click, shift on the keyboard, and just move your mouse. Okay, now it's big. You can always move this text after clicking here. Now it's selected. Then when it's selected, then just click and hold the left click. Now you can move it very easily. So this is our thank you text, and this time we will change the color. So here if I select it, you can see here it is fill color, and this is for the stroke color. So what is stroke and what is fill color? Let's change it first. So here if I double click, make sure that it is selected. So here if this one is not selected, you can still double click here and you will get this color picker, and you can change the color, but you will see there is no change on this text. So you have to make sure that you have selected the object you want to change the color. Then you just go to color picker and double click here, and you will get this color picker, and then you can just select a color here very easily. Just click. This time we will not waste a lot of time here. then okay. So this is thank you, very fine. And this time we also get this stroke color. So what is stroke actually? So here, if I click this stroke, and this time if I double click here, I can change the color. But here we didn't select this text. We want to make a different stroke color of this text. So I select it and double click here on the stroke color, and this time we can select black, not black. Okay, now you can see there is a line here. We can just scale that line, or you can resize that stroke size. If you just select this text, you can see many options here. When you select something or any object, you can also see this control line here or control panel here, and you will get many options, or control menu, whatever you say. So here you can see this is the stroke. Now it's just 1 point. You can just increase this, or you can just click this arrow here, the upper arrow for increasing, the bottom arrow for just decreasing. So now you are so clear about stroke, you can see. So this is the stroke, and here you can see 3 options of the color. This one for the gradient, and this one no color. So here this time if I select this fill color and I don't want any fill color, then if I click here, now still we got the fill color. So what's wrong? So make sure that you select this object, and this time this is the fill color, and we don't want fill color. Very easy. And if you want to change the color, means if you have a stroke color but you want to swap this stroke color to fill color, that is also very easy. If you click this icon here, just swap fill and stroke, then it will be changed. Okay, very easy, right? And you can also add gradient. Okay, this time we can learn something more. We can add some basic shapes. So what is basic shape, and why these basic shapes are very important? Okay, let me show you why these shapes are important. If I go to Google and search flyer, you can see there are many flyers, and you can see these shapes here. The same shape, you can see this is just a rectangle and they just rotate it. And here you can see this design, just a rectangle box. Here also the same 4-angle box, and they just made a little change. And here this is just a ellipse or circle. Here the same, this is a circle. And these simple basic shapes are making the design beautiful actually. Okay, now we can just go back to Adobe Illustrator. So here, if you want to add basic shapes, then this is the basic shapes you get. And if you click here, then here you can see this icon has changed, your mouse icon. And this time if you just hold the left click, just click and hold the left click and move your mouse, then you can create this box. And if you are happy with this size, then just release your left click. Very easy, right? And this time we can move this, just select and hold the left click. Thank you. And here basic shapes, if you do not see all these tools, then you can just click here and you can add tools from here. But if you see just only some tools, if you go to window and you can see here toolbars, and if it is basic, then you will not see so many tools here. So make sure that you go to window, toolbars, advanced, and then all the other tools will be available here. So this time you can see this here, only one tool, this rectangle. And if you just hold your click here, means click and hold the left click, and then you will see inside this there are many other tools. And then if you select, such as if I select this ellipse tool, then the same way, click and hold the left click and just move your mouse, you can create this ellipse, and then just release your mouse if you are happy with the size. This is very easy. And one more thing, if you want to just move this workspace or art area, then you can click this hand tool. Now you can just move it very easily, and we can select this again. Now you can see that this tool icon has also changed. So if I click here again, then I can just draw another one. Okay, very fine. And then select this selection tool. Now we can move it. Very easy. So how do we understand that inside this tool there are so many tools? We can see that in this icon there is not this small triangle icon. So here you can see, but in this other tools we can see this is a small icon. So if there is a small icon like this, that means inside that tool there are some other tools. So if I just click and hold the left click, you can see we have two tools here. If I just hold it, you can see there are three tools here. And here this time if I select this star tool, okay, this is a star. Another thing here, okay, this time I select this ellipse tool. Now here this time our ellipse is not, the ratio is not perfect. So if you select the shift and make sure that your left click is hold, then you can see you can draw a perfect ellipse or circle. So this is how we can use these basic shapes, and later on we will also learn how to use these shapes to make something beautiful. So this time we can just select and delete it. We can select, delete it. We can select this and delete this one. We can keep this star tool, it looks nice, and we can keep it here. There are also some other basic shapes. This is line here. This is a line tool. If you select this one and the same way click and hold your left click and move your mouse, and if you're happy with the size, then release. And this one you can see nothing. So if it's nothing but still it's selected, that means it has no color. You can see no color. So we can select this one and we can give a stroke color. So this one we want to give this stroke color, and we want to increase the size of the stroke. Perfect, right? So instead of this rectangle, we can use this line here. So we can just select this one and delete and move this one. Very easy. And we can easily duplicate anything on Adobe Illustrator. If I click here, then Ctrl C to Ctrl V to paste. And another way is if you just select this one, then Ctrl C. If you want to paste this line on the same position, then Ctrl F. Now it's just here, paste it. So if I just select and move it, very easy, right? Another way to duplicate something, that is, if I select this one, this text, and I want to duplicate this one, then just hold the Alter Alt on your keyboard, and then just click here and hold the left click and just move your mouse. You can see we can duplicate one very easily by the Alter. So here we can keep it here, and we can delete this two line. We don't need them, and we can just select all this object. We learn it at the first time. Just hold the left click, and inside this box everything is now selected. And this time if I click and hold the left click, then I can move all of them together. Very easy, right? Now we will export it. So this is our first one, and first drawing or first design on Adobe Illustrator. So we want to export it, and we want to make a good memory. So we can change one color here. So you can select this thank you, and we can change the color, this time red. Okay, we can select this line, and we want to duplicate. Just Alt on the keyboard and hold the left click and move it. Very easy. Okay, we made a little mistakes. Okay, now it's fine, and we can change this color also, maybe red. Fine, right? We can just copy, Ctrl C, Ctrl V to paste, and move it. And this time we can just select all of them and move it here. We can just keep it this way, it's fine. And this time if I want to export this design, go to File, Export, Export As, and here you can just write thank you, and save as type. You can click here and make sure that it's JPG, and this time export. Just keep it this way, doesn't matter this time. And now we can see this design on our folder. So it's here, new folder, Adobe Basic Course, and this is our design here. Okay, let me show you. So this is our first design, and now we are going to learn something more. And it is also very easy to open a file. Just go to File and go to Open, and then select the file you want to open, and here make sure this file type, it's just selected all formats. And this time we can just create another file, new, and we can learn something more here. You can just change the name here. So this is our second design. You can just write second design, and here you can choose the size, what size you want to export your file, and here you can just select the unit. So it can be points, it can be inches. You can, okay, this time we select inches, and here we want 10 width and 15-inch height. So the orientation is this one, portrait. If you want this landscape one, then this need to be changed. So if I select this one, you can see this width become bigger than the height. And here is output. Okay, we are going to learn about this also. So here this setting, this is the RGB color for monitor. Suppose you want to share this artwork just in the social media or in the internet, especially in the screen, then you can select RGB, that is enough. And here you don't have to select 300, you can select just 72 pixel per inch. That's enough for the screen. But when it comes to printing, then you need to select this CMYK color and you need to change it to 300 pixel per inches. And you can click here for more setting, and you can see the other option as well. Here you can size, you can see some size here which is already created by Adobe. So if we select this A4, then you can see this size also changes. And here if I click create document, then okay, so this is our new document. Another one, this time file, go to new again, and this time here we get this option artboard. So what is this artboard? Here you can see this time we have one artboard, but sometimes we want to design just not only one, maybe we want to design 3 or 4 similar design, but want to make some changes. How is it looking? So here if we select this time 2 or 3 or 4, okay, so let me show you what's this and what's the benefit of these artboards. So this time if I just copy this, select all, Ctrl C to copy, and go to this one. If you click this, then you can select, and if you click this cross icon, then it will be closed. Very easy. So if I want to close it, okay, but make sure that you save it. So we have saved it already. We don't want to save it here, we want to save it in another file. This is our Adobe course, okay, here. And this time if we close it, okay, now if we want to open this, just go to open, and here if I select thank you card, then open. Very easy. And this time I just copy this, go back to 3 and select the artwork here, this one, the artwork 1 or artboard 1, then just Ctrl V, and we can just make some changes. And this time we can just duplicate this 4 artboards, and this time we can just change the color here, this color, and we can compare with the other designs. So this is the benefits of having many artboards, so that you can create same thing but in different design, and you can also see that what your designs look like. At the same time you can compare the designs. Very easy, right? Okay, we can go back to the second design this time, and we want to copy this text again. We already copied, so we can just paste here, and this time we want to make our design beautiful. So here, this one, we don't want this, but we want background color. Now we don't have a background, so here we can just select rectangle tool, and we can just create a rectangle. You can change the color, okay, just any color, doesn't matter this time. So this is our color. Select the selection tool. Now it is selected, but you can see that just it's on the front, we cannot see the text. To send it back, just select it, then right click here, and then here you can see the option add-ins, send to back. Now it's on the back. You can also bring it on the front. Just select this background, right click, and then add-ins and bring to front. Very easy. Select it again, add-ins, send to back. This time we can change the color so that it looks beautiful. So we can just select these two or all the elements together, doesn't matter. You can select it very easily. Select this one, then press shift on the keyboard to select more than one, and you can select. Okay, this time we can change the color to white. Okay, I want to change this color also, this line also. But this line here, you can see, this time when we just change the color, we change the color of the fill, not the stroke. But here, this line only have the stroke color, not this white color. So we can just click here just to swap, and we can just we don't want fill color. We select it again, just click here to swap. So this is how we use swap. You can see it's very useful, and we don't need fill color. But if we want to select it as like before, just hold the left click and just select. Now we can see that everything is selected. So how to solve this problem? We need to solve this problem. So here, if we click this background and just go to the object and then lock and selection. Now whatever you do and wherever you click, this background will not be selected. So you will not make any changes by mistake or by chance. So here, if I want to select all of them, it's very easy. Select the selection tool, and this is, and here we can change the color. Okay, we can go back to the old design, just Ctrl Z to undo. And if I want to change this background color, but this time we cannot select it, so we need to go back to object again and unlock all. Now we can select this background again, and this time we can just change the color. Okay, maybe this one to a little light. Okay, fine. But there is another way to manage it more efficiently, because if you want to lock it, then you have to click it, then you need to go to object and lock it. So you waste a lot of time, but that is always a better way. Okay, we will try that. So here, this one is layers. So this time, if you don't see these panels, if you click here, this icon, then everything will be expanded, and you can see this is layers. And if you don't see these layers, go to window and make sure this layers is checked. If it is not checked, that means it's not opened. So this is our layer. So how to use this layer? To move this layer panel, which is very easy, just click on this layer and hold the left click and then move your mouse. So you can separate this panel. Okay, panel or window. We can click this icon again to collapse. We need some more space here. And if you just hold the left click, just click and hold the left click and move your mouse, you can move this window very easily. And here this time, what's the benefit of having layers? Before explaining this, we need to understand what does actually layers do. So we can go back to this design, or we can create another. Can create another RGB, another file. We don't want it for printing. We can keep it 72. That's okay. Oh, we don't need this four artboards. Okay, we can close it. Again, we don't need 4 artboards. Just 1 is enough. So here we can just draw this rectangle, and here we can just draw this ellipse. So they are in the same layer, and we can just change the color. so it will be easy to understand. Okay, this is very important. So you need to understand it clearly so that you can save some of your time when you are working. So here this time we can just cut it, Control X to cut, Control X to cut, and we can create another layer. So here if you click this plus icon, create new layer, this is our new layer, and make sure that you select this layer and then Control V to paste. Now here you can see this ellipse on this layer 2. We can just create another layer now, and make sure this layer 3 is selected, and this time we can just create a star. Now we can change the color. This is a star, and can make the size bigger. So here you can see layer 3 on the top. This is why this star on the top always. So you can see it's top of the rectangle, top of the ellipse. So this is layer 3, and this is layer 2. It's on the middle, so it's here, it's on the top of the layer 1 but back of this layer 3, so it's in the middle. We can always change this very easily. Just hold the left click and you can move it. You can see this line and you can move. Now you can see this layer 2 on the top, so this object on the top. So here in this design, if we create another layer here, just create another layer, and we can select this background. This time we can press Ctrl X to cut, and then we can go back to layer 2, select this, and Ctrl F to paste in the same place. But still this background on the top, we can just move it on the bottom. Now you can see, if you want to just select this one, that is another way. We can go back to this file, and here you can see we can always lock it. If I click here to lock, then you can see this icon, and when it is locked, then you cannot select that objects of this layer. So if there are more objects here, suppose I select this, I create more objects, maybe this one, selection tool, and this time I lock it again. You can see that I can select this star, I can select this rectangle, but I cannot select these objects because it is locked. So if I go back to this design, and this time I select this one, this is layer 2, I lock it. Now I can select this text very easily. So fun, right? Okay, we can go back here. If you don't want to see the layer 2 objects, then if you click this icon, this eye icon, then it will be hidden, and if you click here again, it will be shown. Very easy. We don't want this. So sometimes maybe you are doing design here, maybe thank you, you don't want to see this text, but you want to only see this thank you, how it's looking, so you can compare. Okay, I can select this 2 and Ctrl X to cut, create a new layer, select this one and Ctrl F to paste in the same place, and this time if I click this icon, now you can see how is it looking, thank you, and this is thank you. So which one is better? You can just choose any one, then you can share it with others. Okay, you can go back here, and here you can see you can always make new layer by clicking here, and this is for clipping marks. We'll learn about this later. And here for the sub layer, So if you want to create another layer just inside this layer, then if you click this sub layer, then you can create other objects on the sub layer. And you can also keep this layer on the sub layer. So if I just hold the left click and move it, but this time it's not working for layer 2 because it's locked, we cannot make any changes. So here you can just unlock it and just hold the left click and move, but this time you can see instead of line, it's just you can see this time it's selected this layer 2. And if you release your left click now, these objects are now inside this layer 2. That's why that's called sub layer. Okay, and here we can press Ctrl Z to undo. So this is the simple things about the layer, and we will use this layer in our next sections. Okay, we can close it. You can just click this icon to close, or just to go to file and here close. No, if you want to save, that is okay, you can save it. Okay, so there are some shortcuts, very useful shortcuts. Let me remind you again. If you want to move this artwork, if you press space on the keyboard, then you can see this hand, and by the hand, if you now just click here and hold the left click, now you can move it very easily. So here, when you are selecting this hand, then you can see this tool name here. You can see this is changed hand. So if I select another tool, type, here you can see this is a type tool. If I select this one, this is a star. Okay, we can go back to selection tool, and here you can see this is that it's fit on skin, or what's the size here of this artboard. Okay, you can just keep it fit on skin, and you can also see we can just rotate this design. And if you have more artboards like this one, you can navigate it. Suppose here you can select fit on skin. This time I want to go back to number 3. You can see this is how you can navigate very easily. Okay, we can go back to this design. Okay, we want to see it just in 0 degree, that is fine. And if you press Ctrl minus, then you can decrease the size of this artboard, and Ctrl plus, it will be increased. If you're using Mac, that is Command plus and Command minus. Very easy to navigate, and space, okay, to move something. So this is the very helpful shortcuts you must remember. If you can press V on the keyboard to select the selection tool, and if you just go near these tools, and you can see some details. So if I go near this tool, you can see I can see the details, and I can also see the shortcuts of this tool. So if I go to this type tool, okay, now you can see the type tool is T, and when we are clicking something, and you can see this bounding box, but if you don't want to see it, or if you don't get it, then go to view and hide bounding box. So if it's now, if I select this, I can see that bounding box. Bounding box is very helpful. So if you go to view and this time show bounding box, and when we are moving this text, then you can see we are getting some guideline. You see guideline, and this guideline called smart guidelines. So if you don't see those guidelines, then go to view and smart guides. If it is not checked, that means smart guides are turned off. You can always turn it off if you don't want to see it, but I think that these smart guides are very useful. And this time we want to make this design better. We want to import photos here so that we can make it more beautiful. So we can go to File, then Place, and then you can just select the image you want to import and then Place. And this time, if you just hold the left click and just move your mouse, so this is the box for the image. So if you want to keep this image this size, then just release your mouse or release your left click. Okay, so we can import photos. We can go to File again and Place, and we can select this one again, and this time you can see this is our photo. And if I click here, now I can see this photo just in full size here. So if I press Ctrl minus, because this photo is so big, and this is our artboard here. So the best way, okay, we can delete it, and now we can just go here and fit on screen. So the best way is just go File and Place and select your image and just make the box, and okay, now it's fine. You can also change it later. If I click it now and I can make changes, so here you can see I can make changes, but the ratio is not the same, so it looks so weird. Ctrl Z to undo. We want to keep the ratio same when we are scaling this photo. So this time we can just make some changes. So for this, we press Shift on the keyboard and then just go near this, and we can see this arrow when you go to near this small rectangle. Okay, Shift, the same as this text when you want to scale or just reduce the size the same way. So we can just keep this photo here. I think if it looks beautiful, we can just duplicate the same way as before. We have learned about it. Okay, we made mistake. Alter, then this one. Okay, so this is 3. And this time we are also going to learn how to group something. So this time we select this, but we don't want to select these 3 separately, just multiple times if we want to increase the size or decrease the size. So what we can do, we can just group it. So I can select this one first, press Shift, then this one, then right click, and here you can see group. So when you group something, now if I click here, then you can move this, and you can easily move these 3 together. You can always ungroup this one. Just click here and right click and ungroup. Now you can select and move them separately. Okay, I can group them again. And when it's grouped, even you don't want to ungroup, but you can go to the isolate mode. So you can isolate this item only in this group. So if you select this and double click, now it's in the isolate mode. Now you can only make changes here. And if you click outside of this hardboard, double click here, now we can go back to the normal mode. Now you can see if I click here, even 3 is selected, but we didn't ungroup. So this is how you can save your time. Okay, we can double click here and just keep them together. Double click here. Now this is selected. We press Shift and then you can just resize it so that it looks beautiful. And we don't want this line, so we select this. I think we don't need this thank you and this line. If we need, we can always change it, or we can create another one. Okay, so we can move it here. Now it's just a little better. Thank you. Just the flowers. So I'm just showing you that how you can do your design, and when you are designing, then what kind of methods you can use. Okay, we don't care that how beautiful is this one or not. We are learning this time. So here you can select this one, and we can just change the color. Okay, so this is your thank you card for the first time. And if you want to export, then just go to file, and this time export, and we can see some other options here. Export as, and here if I click, we can also see some other option such as PNG and JPG, BMP, as you like. You can just select that file type and then just export. Okay, very fine, huh? So this is our design. Okay, we can see how does it look. Okay, here, and you can share it with anyone. Okay, so this time we can learn more about this text. If I click this text, then if I go to this properties, then you can see here character. From here we can change this font, and you can see which font looks better. Suppose if you think this, okay, this font is better, then you can select that font, and okay, you can move it. And if you want to add a stroke on this font, that is very easy. What we have learned already, and you can change the color, this one, and from here we can just change this stroke size. And if you click here, then you will get some more option, but we'll learn more about this later on. And when you are okay with this, so this is your design. Okay, we can select this one again, and we can try to change the font, but I think this first one is better for now. If you don't want stock, just select this and just 0.25 or click here. Then if you just double click here, then you can see this option none, so you don't have any stroke color. You can also just click on the fill here to change the color to easily see which one looks better. You can also just select this color picker or eyedropper tool. So if I select this eyedropper tool, now if I just select any color here, it changes. So if I select here, it changes. Select here, it changes. Okay, we want to click this here. But for that, make sure that you have selected the text. So anytime if you are using any tools, but if you don't see any changes, make sure it's selected. Suppose if it is not selected, I just select this color picker or eyedropper tool. And if I just click here, now you can see no changes on this text, but we can only see this color here. It's also very useful to see the changes here. Suppose I want to use this color later on. So if I select this one, now this is our color, and you can see, and we can see this color code. So you can copy this, and this time if you create something, suppose a star or just a rectangle here, then you can see this is our color. So if I change this color, okay, change this color, we can see this color code. Okay, and this time I want to change, like go back to this color again, so we can paste it, the color we saved or we copied here, and okay, you can see this is how color code works. And you can also make some colors so that you can use them later on. So how to do that? You can just make this small rectangle, select this one again. We want to also save, okay, sorry, here we want to make another one, and this time this eyedropper tool, okay, and here again another one, and this eyedropper tool, and can just, okay, so now we have these three color. Suppose we like this three color and we want to use this color in our next project. So this time if I just select them, we can group them, and then we can just copy and paste it in another design here. So this time if I want to change the color of this one, eyedropper tool after selecting this, and now you can see this is very useful. Okay, we can go back here. Okay, we can learn more about this type tool or text. We can just select and delete this one, and this time I select this type tool. Now click here. Now we can type something here. Okay, so we can just type something like this is our first design, we want to make it so cool, our design is the best design. Okay, so this is our text, and okay, again thank you for choosing our work. Okay, so this is our text. We can make this bigger from here. After selecting this, we can just make this size bigger. Okay, now you can see it looks better, so you can keep it here, align this. Now you can see it looks better. And here if you want to just change this align, so if I select this text and if I select this, so this is the center align, it also looks better. So if I make it bigger, shift, and then okay, and we can also change it. So as you like, you can try this. You can try this paragraph. What your design looks cool, you need to try here. What makes your design so cool? If you are okay with this, and then okay, we can make some changes here, because this one, okay, we can move it just in the middle. Okay, now it's fine. I think that if we just move it on the bottom, it looks better. This is thank you card. Okay, if you want to just change this, okay, that is okay. You can also create this text box very easily. Suppose here you want to just make a small text box, you want to write so many things, and you want to add your logo here. That is very easy. So here if I select this type tool, and here, okay, after selecting this type tool, just hold your left click and move your mouse. So this is your text box. So if you're happy with this box size, then just release your left click. You can just change the text size, and this time we can just copy it. Copy this one and go back to this and select them. Okay, now we can reduce the size here. Okay, so they are on the box only. So this is how this box work. Okay, it's so cool now. Now we can add our logo. It's very easy to add your logo. Suppose this is your logo, this is star. So you can just copy this one, copy, and go back to this design and Control V to paste. If you want to create a new layer, that is fine. Okay, Control X to cut it. We want to create a new layer for the logo, and Control F to paste in the place. You can easily change this layer's name. Suppose this one for logo. Then if you just double click here, so if you have a lot of elements, a lot of objects, then if you just change this name, this is for the photo, then it will be very easy for you to manage. So this is for the text. Okay, we made a little mistake, and this is for background. Okay, this is for the background. Very fine. So this is our design. You can just make it a little bit better. This is our logo. So we can just add a slogan here. Suppose our design is the best design. So you can select this one, and our design is the best design. Design is the best. And another thing here, if you just hold left click, you can see there are some more options. Suppose this one is area type tool. This is type on a pad tool. We'll know more about this. Suppose if I select this one, vertical area type tool or vertical type tool, then if I want to write something here, hi, this is us. So this is how you can add something to your design. Maybe you can keep it here. Our design is the best design. You can see. Okay. So now it looks a little better, but this color doesn't look good. So you can just change it. After selecting this eyedropper tool. Okay. We want a similar color from here. So at the first time, it is very confusing to select the color. In this course, we will also learn about this color harmony so that you can easily select some colors for your basic design. Okay, we can save it. So we make some changes. So make sure that you save it. Otherwise, otherwise you will not find it. Maybe somehow your computer crash, then you will just lose the design. So I can write, this is a thank you card, new version. Okay, it's just saved in our computer now. And if you just make any changes, so you can just go to file again and save, or press Ctrl save. So it's still saving. Before discussing more about color harmony, we can discuss about this font. So here, this font may be the buyer you are working with, maybe they don't like, they want different font, and here you cannot find a suitable font for them. So how can you really download new font? It's very easy to download. Just you have to go to here. You have to go to fonts.google.com and thefont.com. So here you can see there are so many fonts. If you want to download a font, just click, and if you like this font and like their font design, then you can just click download family. It will be downloaded. If you go to the thefont.com, here also the same. You can also search by name. Okay, one more tip. Maybe you are working for someone, maybe you doing freelancing, and your buyer is just so tough. Your buyer doesn't like your font. So what you can do, you can refer this to website to them and ask them that what font they like. They can just send you the link of that font or the name of the font. So it will be very easy for you to make the design and make the design what they actually want. Okay, so here if I want to download this font, just click download and it will be downloaded. And when you download the font, then you will find this font on your folder, and here how it looks like. So this is a font. It will be in zip. You can just right click and extract. So here I have extracted that font, and make sure that you read their terms and condition before using that font on your business services. So here you can just install TTF or OTF, which one you like. Just here you can just click, double click, and now I can get the option for install. So I can install that font. And sometimes there will be more option, more TTF. Sometimes it's better to get that bold, regular, normal, extra bold. You will get many options. Then you have to install all of them. So this is very easy to install your font. So now this font name is better together. I installed. Okay, it's installed. And now if I go back to Adobe Illustrator here, okay, properties, I select this font and then just select better music. Here we just find it better together. Okay, and this is so easy. Okay, we can now increase the size. Thank you. So we can just delete this. So this is how you can just change the font. Just by changing the font, you can see this design looks so different and so beautiful. Okay, this time we are going to learn about color harmony. But before learning about color harmony, let's learn some more tools. Okay, so we can just close the other files. Just to go to file, and here you can see close all to close everything. Okay, we have no option like close others as like Photoshop, so we need to close separately. So we don't want this, and just close it. If you want to save, just you can save it. We don't want to save this one. Okay, so this is our account. We can just create a new one, new file, and here we can write something like a logo. Logo design. And this time we learn about this tool. This is pen tool. So if you select this pen tool, then if you just click here, now if you just move your mouse, now you can see this line. So here if I want, okay, this, then you can just click. Now there is a new point here. It's like a anchor. It's called anchor point. And here if I want a point here, just click. Okay, and if I click here, then it will be joined. Okay, now I go back to this selection tool. This is our new design, and you can just move it very easily. So here if I click, now if I just go near to this small rectangle, then you can see, or a small square here, you can see this icon is for rotating. So if you see this option, then just hold the left click, and now if you move your mouse, you can rotate it very easily. You can also scale it. We know that is just here scaling. And if you want to keep the ratio same, then press shift on the keyboard. Okay, so this is it. So here if we want different fill color, but this time we don't want fill color. We just want to use this stroke color. So here we can just increase the size. Okay, so this tool is very important, and you will use this tool a lot when you design logo, especially, or design some icons or something else. Maybe you are designing any artwork such as portrait, means sketch, then this tool's very useful. So here, how to use this. So if you want to just give the straight line, then here straight line. Okay, a point here. If I want a straight line point, but this time here I don't want a straight line. So what you have to do, just hold the left click, and now here is a point, and now if you just move your mouse, and you can see, you can just create a curved line. And okay, and this time you can see this one also becoming curved here, but we don't want to make it curved. So if I just double click here, now there are no two handles, only one handle. So this time I can, okay, create this one. So if I click this one and select this tool, here you can see this is minus. So if you click here, then this anchor point will be deleted. Okay, deleted. Okay, Control Z. And if you want to add an anchor point, so here you can just go add an anchor point. Suppose I want to add an anchor point here, new point here also. And now I can just change this to anchor point tool. Now I can play with this anchor point. Suppose I want this anchor point here. Very easy, right? Just hold the left click and select them, and you can just make some changes. And if you want to just modify these handles separately, you can use this anchor tool. And also if you just press Alt, suppose I can select this pen tool. Now here I am making a changes, and I want to change this handle. Then I press Alt on the keyboard, and I can change this handle. And you can see, okay, I can also change this handle. Just press Alt to change this handle. At the first time, it will be a little difficult to use this tool, but you need to just play with it. Just don't be afraid. Just play with this randomly. At the first time, it will be so difficult, but after some practice, you will find it very interesting. Okay, so here, if I want to just transform it, means this one I want on the top. So here, if I click and right click, we can get some option on the transform. So here, this is for the move. If I click this one, and I can select that where I want to move, how I want to move. And if you are okay, then just okay. But I don't think for just moving you need to use that option, because you can move it easily with this selection. But transform is very useful. Right click here, go to transform, and this is for reflect. This is for rotate. So if I click reflect, now you can see it's the reflect option. So you can copy. If you copy, then you will find another file or another object. But here, if you just okay, then there will be no copy here. So if I just copy this one, now I can find this another one. I can move. Very easy, right? And this just a reflection. Okay, it looks better. Okay, you can see some more option. Right click here, go to transform, and here this time we can rotate it, and make sure this preview option is checked. So if this preview option is not checked and you make some changes, you cannot see. But here, if you just select this preview option, it's very easy to rotate. And I think that you will use this option a lot, this reflect option a lot, and many times. So here you can also fix this rotation by, okay, and you can see this guideline. And if you want to see the rulers, then you can just go to view, and here rulers, show rulers. Now you can find these rulers here, and if you just click here and hold the left click and move your mouse, and you can see this is your line, and you can also make some line. Okay, this is very useful. So this time we can just zoom in to see that it's okay or not. Okay. I think now it's perfect. Okay, we don't want to see this guide. We can just remove it. Okay, we can use this tool again. Okay, I can select this tool again. So here, if I want to, okay, I can make a curved line and then just alter to change. And we know that this is very useful. And here you can also make some changes. Okay, and when you finish, just select the selection tool. And anytime you can just add anchor point from here, and you can select this anchor point tool to make some changes and play with these handles to make this design beautiful. Okay. Oh, you can see you just have to play with this tool. Okay, so this time if we want fill color, select this, add a fill color. Okay, so we can delete this, and here this one similar to this pen tool, this one called curvature tool, but here when we are using this pen tool, you can see we cannot get the curved line here. Okay, so if you want to make curve, we need to just hold the left click and move our mouse and this point. But here this curvature one is very fun to use. So if I select a point here, now if I move it, now I can see that this will be our line, next line. Okay, click here. Okay, I can click here, so I can see that this will be our line. Okay, and this is our line. So here we can move, and we can also select this anchor point tool and try to fix it. Okay, we can make handles. And if you don't want these handles, then we can just undo. We can just select this tool, is fine. Then you can just play with this point. If you're not satisfied with the design, you can just play with this point very easily. Okay, here. By this, you can create very nice curved line. Suppose I delete this one and I want to create a curved line. You can see it's very easy to create. So here we don't want this fill color. Okay, so it's very easy to create this kind of curved line using this one. We can also use this pen tool, but here you have to make these handles. You see, you just have to play with this tool so that you can just use this tool efficiently. But here you can see another thing. You can see that here it's not carved properly. So this time you can also select this tool, and this time if you just click here, now you can see you can fix it very easily with this tool. Okay, and here we can also see this is not carved here. So I select this tool, curvature tool, and this time if I play with this point or add a new point here, you can see I can make this curve very smooth. I hope you understand. Okay, this time we can try something else. We can try to create a logo. We can just select all of them, delete, and this time we want to create a logo. So we can go to place, then you can select the file, or you can just go to Google and just search logo, social media logos. Then you will get many logo photos. Just you can download them and import it. We will draw a logo or create a logo using this pen tool. So here after importing, you can just increase the size, just make it convenient so that you can design it without any problems. So you can do one thing. Suppose you are designing a logo for someone, you can just sketch that logo on paper, then you can just take a photo on your mobile phone and then import that photo here. And here this time if we want to draw the logo, we want to create another layer. So this is another layer, and here we will draw our logo, but we don't want to touch this thing. So this time I can just lock it so that we don't make any changes. But here if I want to create, you can see this logo or this image is so visible. So what we can do, we can just unlock this and select this here, this layer, then here properties, you can change this opacity. Okay, now I think it's better. Okay, we can lock it now. Can zoom it, Ctrl plus to zoom. I think now it's better. So this is this. Okay, but we need to create this one very easily. Select this pen tool. Okay, here, and we can see this. Okay, but this stroke size is so big, we can reduce the size, stroke size, and double click on this point, and then again here just a little curve, and double click again, and here also we can. Okay, and this. Okay, double click here. Okay, I'm just showing you how to do this. Double click here. Okay, to save time, we can do it a little faster. And double click here so that we don't make extra curve. And here again, can play with this tool. You have to play it just freely. Just don't worry, play with this tool. And you can see that how we can create these simple things. Okay, very easy. Okay, double click here. Okay, so this is our Twitter logo. Okay, now what we can do, go to layer, and we can just hide this. So this is it. But if we zoom it, here you can see we made some mistakes. So here, if we click, then if I select this tool, pen tool, I think we got extra point here. We don't need this one, so I can click. Okay, Control Z. I think, okay, this is the point here, but we want to add another anchor point. Okay, or we can press Ctrl Z, then we can see the handles first. So here we need to see these handles. Okay, where we made the mistakes. So here if I press Alter, then I can play with this handles only. And go to pen tool, then press Alter. Then I can play with this. But this time I just want to delete this one. Okay, and to delete this one, I can add another anchor point here, and then we can just anchor point tool, and we can just move this. Wow, you can see this is so problematic, just a little mistake. Okay, we can go to layer, we can just open this here, and this time if we want to move this, I select this tool here, curvature tool, and I can move it very easily. So I can hide it again. Now I can see that everything is smooth or not. I can find here it's not very smooth. We can make it very smooth, these lines actually. If I select this curvature tool, and then if I select this point, you see, you can make it very smooth. Okay, Control minus. Here you can see that this is not straight actually, so we can just make it a little curve. We can click here to make another anchor point, and then we can move it, can make it better. So this is how you can fix the curve with this curvature tool. So you can see this is not looking good, but if I touch it with this curvature tool, I can turn it on, and you can see that. So what we have learned just in this course, we are still applying this knowledge, and this time we can make it better. Okay, I select this one and selection tool, and we can add color now. Very easy. Okay, and if we don't want this stroke, select this, no stroke. Fine, right? Okay, we can also change this, but the size seems so big. Can reduce the size. Select this one, and we can just change the color. And if we want fill color, select this one, and here you can add fill color. So this is our logo now. Okay, but fill color doesn't looks better. I think this is fine. And now I can copy this, copy, and we can create a new file. Okay, and we can just paste it, make it bigger. Here this time we want to make it bigger. Now it looks good. We can change the stroke size, and we can add text here, type tool. So this is Twitter logo, and we can just increase the font size. Okay, we can change the font. So we are applying whatever what we learned so far, and we can change the color. Okay, Twitter color. I think we can also change this color. But what happens? It changes. Okay, Control Z. So why does it happen? So when you just select this one, we only have stroke color for this ellipse. But here, if I select this logo, then you can see this fill color is this one. So when you select this one and choose this eyedropper tool and select this one, then it actually fills the fill color, because this color is based on the fill color. That's why it's choosing the fill color. Okay, so here Ctrl Z. Okay, so this is our logo. We can go back to this file. We can try another one. This one I think very easy. This Instagram. You don't even need to use this tool. You can just use this ellipse tool. So we can create another layer for Instagram logo, and this time just hold the shift so that you can create a perfect ellipse. Okay, we can increase the size, and this time we can draw this, and if I go here we can find this rounded rectangle tool. So if I click here, you see rounded rectangle tool, very useful. Can make this size bigger, and there have some more options here, such as these corners, and what kind of corners do you like. You can select it from here. Okay, this time it's perfect, but if you really want to make the same one, then you can just select this curvature tool and you can just try. Double click, and you can see here, double click, it's okay. So here double click, then double click, okay, double click, double click, double click, and double click here. Now it's selected, but this time we can make another point here and just fix it. You can see, and you can just move this. Okay, you can just use more time. So this is how you can easily create a logo. Okay, we don't want to spend so long time here. Okay, I'm just showing it to you how you can do this. Shift and okay, we need a bigger one. And here another ellipse. But this one, we don't want the stroke color, it should be the fill color. Perfect. Okay, we can hide this. I think this is fine, but still we need to make this one better because it doesn't look so better here. You see, we can just decrease the sizes so we can see there's some problems here. Okay, we can keep it this way this time. So this is our Instagram logo. It doesn't look good. Okay, we can just delete this one, or you can lock this object this time. We can just try this rectangle tool. I think now it will be fine. And we can just unlock. And we can select this one and delete. Oh, sorry. We delete the wrong one. Okay, I think now it's better. You can select this one. We don't need this. And then you select all, right click and group. Now if you want to move, you can move everything. You can also try this logo using this pen tool or curvature tool, so that you will understand how these tools actually working. I hope you understand about these two tools. Okay, now we'll talk about color harmony. Suppose you want to make a design, this one, and you want to keep this just little. This is our logo, and here you want to sell something. Suppose discount 30%. You can make this size bigger, and we can choose a different font. Discount 30%. So we don't need this. This is our logo here, 30%, and we can add some more text. Just first come, first serve. Okay, and here we can keep this, and we can add background. We can change the color. Okay, so here you can see just changing this color, it looks so bad. So how to solve this problem? How we can make it a little better? That's why we need to use the color harmony. Okay, to understand color harmony, it's very easy. You can just go to color.adobe.com and you can see they have some color harmony option: analogous, monochromatic, triad, and complementary. And here, if you select this monochromatic, it means just the same color but different saturation. You can see. And if you select triad, the 3 colors, so this is the color wheel, and you can choose different color here, and you can get this color palette. What does it mean? It means that if you use these colors on a design, then it will look better. So if I select this complementary, I get this. So here, suppose I like this one. So here I can just copy this easily and go back to our design and select this one, and we can change it. And this time we select this one, and we want to use this color because this is the color, the same variation, and do this color or this one. Adobe Illustrator. Okay, so here in this color, if we add more light, then I think it will look better. So if I select this one, now this time if I double click here, you can see if you go up, then light will be added. It will be more lighter. And okay, so now you can see that it looks better than before with this color. And fast come, fast serve. So here we can also choose the same color. But the size becomes so big. Fast come, fast serve. We can also try some other colors. Okay, we can go back to the Adobe, and this time we want to use such as this color. It especially work when you are designing, when you are drawing something. Okay, we can try this triad, and you can also see this explore option, but you don't have to follow the rules all the time. Sometimes you can just play. Suppose now we got our two color, but this time we can change it, that if we make it lighter, how does it look? So if I select this one, can make it darker. Okay, when we are making it darker, now you can see the same color. When we are making it darker, it looks better. So we can just make it a little more dark, and okay, a little more dark, and discount just a little more light on this. I think now it's fine. And this one doesn't look better here. You can just go double click here, go to isolation mode and delete. Now if we can move it here, so when I am moving this logo, you can see we can see some guidelines. So if we push it here or put it here, now discount 30%, fast come, fast serve, looks better. But we can add photo here. Suppose we are selling flowers, so we can just place and just select the same photo, doesn't matter. You can see this photo here, but this time we want this photo just in a round or in a circle. So how to do that? If you just select the ellipse, and then you can just get this ellipse here. If you are okay with this, now make sure that the shape on the top, then you select shift on the keyboard and then select this photo. And now if you right click, you can see this option, make clipping mask. So if you click here, now you can make clipping mask. This time you can move it. Very easy, right? We can delete this logo. Suppose you're selling flowers, you can add more photos, more flower photos here to make it nicer. Okay, you can just discount 30%, first come first serve. What about if we okay, we can make it just a different size. You can add more flowers here, and we can also add something more such as a rectangle here, first come first serve, and you can just change the color. Now you can see just this line makes our design better than before. So you need to try different things and just experiment. And there is a better way how to learn at the first time, means how to in the beginning time, how can you learn faster. We'll talk about it also. Okay, don't worry. So this is how you make your design. Suppose you want to create another design. Here we can create another file. This time if you want to sell house, suppose you write something selling house, or just you can write something, maybe whatever you're selling. So this is selling house, and you can add some more text about selling house. What is the requirements? Maybe you can make more boxes, and you can also change the align of this text. Select this. I think this one works better, or this one. I think this one is fine, or you can just keep it center like this, as you like. You have to try this. Now you can see selling house, and we can just change the font here. I think this font looking so good. Selling house, or you can just write something here, whatever you're selling. I'm just giving you an example, and you can just place photos. Maybe it can be a t-shirt, or whatever you're selling. Okay, this time we can just bring the same photo. What about we write selling flowers? Selling flowers. Can make it smaller so that it becomes aligned with this. But don't worry about many rules. And if you just want more photos, then you can just import more photos. You already know how to import. And you can also add background color. Very easy to add. But this time we will add gradient. So here, this is our design, but this time we want to add a gradient on our design. So how to use gradient? So if you select this one, and here this option is for gradient. So this is for the gradient, and you will see this option gradient panel. If you don't see this, just go to window, and you know that how to find gradient. And when you find it, you can, here this color represent this one. So if you double click here, then you can actually select color. And here this time, selling flowers. Okay, now it looks better. Here the type of the gradient. So this is the linear style, and this is center, and this is if you want to add more gradients here, more points, then you can create more points, and then you can change the color. Okay, we can go back to this or this one, and if you play with this button here, you can also add more color. Here you can see this plus icon. Now if you click here, you can add more color. So if I double click here, and I can add more color. Selling flowers. but we want to change the opacity of this color. So I select this, and here you can see opacity 60%. So this is how you can use gradient on your design. Okay, selling flowers. Can keep it on the middle. Okay, we made a good design. So now you can just go to file, and if it is a printing, then you can save as PDF. Save as PDF and share it with others. Very easy, right? Okay, this time let me give you some more tips, and this is the final section. So here, let me tell you now about this workspace. So here, when you open this Adobe Illustrator, so this is the toolbars and these are the panels. You can always separate these panels very easily. That is just click and hold the left click and move your mouse. You can easily just separate this panel. You can add this panel here as you like. Suppose I work on layer and properties most of the time, so I want to keep these two panel together. So I can just hold the left click here, and if I go here near this, now I can see this blue box. So if I release my mouse, now I can navigate them very easily. And if I want it here on the bottom, so this is so big, we can move it, and I can now go near this, and you can see this blue line. Okay, now it's added here, and we can just resize it very easily. And now if I want to keep this together, then I can just set it here. Okay, so when I click this properties and layers are together. If I want to close this panel, then just go here, and I can see the option like delete or releasing. But here panel option, you can see some more options, like if you want this row size small or medium, and if you're okay with this size, then just okay, then you will see the changes. You can always close it by just right click on this panel name, then close. Very easy. If you want to get it back again, just go to window, and here to find these layers. This is layers. If it is checked, that means it's open. If it is not checked, that means it's closed. Okay, so this is our layers. Here you can see this little icon. We have used it before. So if you click it, then it will be expanded. If you just click it, then it will be collapsed. Okay, so easy. Suppose you just made your own workspace. You have customized your own workspace. Layers and this one are together. And keep it here, this together. And we don't want this. Okay, we can keep this here. And you don't want to lose this workspace. So you can save it. Just go to window and go to workspace. And here you can select this new workspace, and you can just give your name. Suppose this one for artwork 1. And anytime you can go to window, and if you make any changes, you want to go back to the original one. Suppose this one, Essentials Classic, and you can go to window, workspace, and then just reset the workspace. You can see here more workspace. You can just try them. Different. It's for painting. For painting this workspace, you need to use the color a lot of time. So you will see this brush and color option, color panels here. But you can always customize it as you like, and you can just save it. Suppose You can always customize it and save it as you like. Suppose we have saved this artwork one. If I click here now you can see this is the artwork we have customized. Very easy. Okay, now we learned many things. This time some final tips. Suppose here you can see this, we have this design and we want to change the color. You can also, okay, we can just delete this. You can see this on color option. In color option, you can just select any color and you can see how it looks like. Okay, and you can also go to these swatches and you can try these colors without just clicking on the color picker all the time. You can just go to these swatches. And another thing, that is this option is stroke. So here, if I go to window, we need the properties panel. So where is our properties panel? This one. And we get these properties. Okay, we can just move it here, expand this, and properties here. We don't need layer now. So this time, if I click here, now I can see some options here, align. So here you can see you will get some align options. Okay, I can just move it here. Suppose I want to just compare it with this one, and now it will be aligned with this one. So here, if I select this one and this one, then if I want to make them center, align center, now you can see they all are in center. Okay, Control Z. Okay, this time suppose this one is here and this one is not aligned properly. So if I select these two and click here to center, now they're in center. Okay, so this is how you can use these align tools. And another tools and very interesting tools, that is Pathfinder. Okay, how to use Pathfinder. So we can just new document, and this time if I draw this, select a different color, and here I want to draw ellipse, just a different color, and we want to cut it in this way. So if we select them, now we can see this option, Pathfinder. So if I select this, then they will be united. You can see. Okay, Control Z. And this time if I select this one, then it will just minus the front one. Okay. Again, if I select this one, you can see the intersection is here. I select them, and if I select this one, now we can see here it is just removed the intersection one. So this is how you can use Pathfinder when you are designing logo. Then it's really very useful. Suppose you are designing something. Okay, let me give you some idea. Here I want to just okay, I can duplicate this, but these two here can select and select this. Now you can see this is a mouth. Very easy. I can, okay, now we can send it back and send it back, keep it here. We can also create eyes. This is a very simple example how you can draw something with this small or basic tools. We can just Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl F to paste in the same place. Then we can just resize one, and we can change the color white, and we don't want the stock color. So now if I move it here, and we can change the color to white, and we don't want stock color, no stock. Now we can see it looks better than before. We don't want this. We can just copy them, these two. We can duplicate this. Oh, sorry. We can duplicate this two. Now we can just group it. Then we can just duplicate it very easily. Okay. Okay, I'm just not drawing something very beautiful, just I'm giving you the idea how you can use it, because this is a very basic course. I think that you understand now. You get the test of this software, and now you can decide that whether you should learn more or not. And if you want to learn more, then you need to copy the design. You need to go to Google. If you go to the Google, and this time if you go to Google and just search different designs such as flyer, and just copy this design. And another thing, if you want to copy someone's design, just go to YouTube. I think YouTube is the best place to learn. You can just go here. Okay, and if you go to YouTube, then you can just search here, copy design, copy Adobe Illustrator design, and you can find many people, they are just copying design and making different design. Or you can also like a poster design. Suppose you write poster design Illustrator, copy. So you can see poster design, many copy design. You can just follow them and copy at first, copy so many design, then you will find your style. Here, let me tell you now about this workspace. So here, when you open this Adobe Illustrator, so this is the toolbars and these are the panels. You can always separate these panels very easily. That is just click and hold the left click and move your mouse. You can easily just separate this panel. You can add this panel here as you like. Suppose I work on layer and properties most of the time, so I want to keep these two panel together. So I can just hold the left click here, and if I go here near this, now I can see this blue box. So if I release my mouse, now I can navigate them very easily. And if I want it here on the bottom, so this is so big, we can move it, and I can now go near this, and you can see this blue line. Okay, now it's added here, and we can just resize it very easily. And now if I want to keep this together, then I can just set it here. Okay, so when I click this properties and layers are together. If I want to close this panel, then just go here, and I can see the option like delete or releasing. But here panel option, you can see some more options, like if you want this row size small or medium, and if you are okay with this size, then just okay, then you will see the changes. You can always close it by just right click on this panel name, then close. Very easy. If you want to get it back again, just go to window, and here to find these layers. This is layers. If it is checked, that means it's open. If it is not checked, that means it's closed. Okay, so this is our layers. Here you can see this little icon, we have used it before. So if you click it, then it will be expanded. If you just click it, then it will be collapsed. Okay, so easy. Suppose you just made your own workspace. You have customized your own workspace. Layers and this one are together. And keep it here, this together. and we don't want this. Okay, we can keep this here. And you don't want to lose this workspace, so you can save it. Just go to window and go to workspace, and here you can select this new workspace, and you can just give your name. Suppose this one for artwork 1, and anytime you can go to window, and if you make any changes, you want to go back to the uh, original one. Suppose this one, Essentials Classic, and you can go to window, workspace, and then just reset the workspace. You can see here more workspace. You can just try them. Different. It's for painting. For painting this workspace, you need to use the color a lot of time. So you will see this brush and color option, color panels here. You can always customize it and save it as you like. Suppose we have saved this artwork 1. If I click here now you can see this is the artwork we have customized. Very easy. Okay, now we learned many things. This time some final tips. Suppose here you can see this, we have this design and we want to change the color. You can also, okay, we can just delete this. You can see this on color option. In color option, you can just select any color and you can see how it looks like. Okay, and you can also go to these swatches and you can try these colors without just clicking on the color picker all the time. You can just go to these swatches. And another thing, that is this option is stroke. So here, if I go to window, we need the properties panel. So where is our properties panel? This one. And we get these properties. Okay, we can just move it here, expand this, and properties here. We don't need layer now. So this time, if I click here, now I can see some options here, align. So here you can see you will get some align options. Okay, I can just move it here. Suppose I want to just compare it with this one, and now it will be aligned with this one. So here, if I select this one and this one, then if I want to make them center, align center, now you can see they all are in center. Okay, Control Z. Okay, this time suppose this one is here and this one is not aligned properly. So if I select these two and click here to center, now they're in center. Okay, so this is how you can use these align tools. And another tools and very interesting tools, that is Pathfinder. Okay, how to use Pathfinder. So we can just new document, and this time if I draw this, select a different color, and here I want to draw ellipse, just a different color, and we want to cut it in this way. So if we select them, now we can see this option, Pathfinder. So if I select this, then they will be united. You can see. Okay, Control Z. And this time if I select this one, then it will just minus the front one. Okay. Again, if I select this one, you can see the intersection is here. And select them, and if I select this one, now we can see here it is just removed, the intersection one. So this is how you can use Pathfinder when you are designing logo. Then it's really very useful. Suppose you are designing something. Okay, let me give you some idea. Here I want to just okay, I can duplicate this, but these two here can select, and select this. Now you can see this is a mouth. Very easy. I can, okay, now we can send it back and send it back. Keep it here. We can also create eyes. This is a very simple example how you can draw something with this small or basic tools. We can just Ctrl C to copy, Ctrl F to paste in the same place. Then we can just resize one, and we can change the color white, and we don't want the stock color. So now if I move it here, and we can change the color to white, and we don't want stock color, no stock. Now we can see it looks better than before. We don't want this. We can just copy them, these two. We can duplicate this. Oh, sorry. We can duplicate this two. Now we can just group it. Then we can just duplicate it very easily. Okay. Okay, I'm just not drawing something very beautiful, just I'm giving you the idea how you can use it, because this is a very basic course. I think that you understand. Now you get the taste of this software, and now you can decide that whether you should learn more or not. And if you want to learn more, then you need to copy the design. You need to go to Google. If you go to the Google, and this time if you go to Google and just search different designs such as flyer, and just copy this design. And another thing, if you want to copy someone's design, just to go to YouTube. I think YouTube is the best place to learn. You can just go here. Okay, and if you go to YouTube, then you can just search here, copy design, copy Adobe Illustrator design, and you can find many people, they are just copying design and making different design. Or you can also like a poster design. Suppose you write poster design Illustrator, copy. So you can see poster design, many copy design. You can just follow them and copy at first. Copy so many design. Congratulations. So what's next? What can we learn in the future? Okay, in the future you can just learn something more from YouTube also, or you can just find some courses, advanced courses if you like. It's totally depends on you. And I will also upload another course which will be cover everything about Adobe Illustrator. And you can also follow this channel. Sometimes I upload many tutorials, and I also upload many tutorials about Adobe software. Okay, so here if you want to support this channel, our channel is just small this time, you can find the link on the description. I hope that this course is really helpful to you, and now you really enjoy the process of learning Adobe Illustrator or graphic design. And in fact, we learn just very simple tools, but with the simple tools you can really create something wonderful. You can just try and try some other tools also. Just don't afraid to just select those tools and just try on this artboard. Okay, hope to see you in my next videos.